Bones are amazing things. They hold us up, they support us, they make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear. Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
And welcome back to Bone Throwers Theater. My name is Jeremy. I am playing Grayson. Benedict stole my line, Digby.
I'm Jeff. I play Demetrius. Poke it with a stick, Norden.
I'm Aaron, playing Brother Everyone Dies, Benedict.
Oh,
This is Johnny playing I'm so lost, Jorus, Glave.
And I'm Jordan, and I play Ice Coming From Under the Ground.
So we all know that this role playing is just your way of getting out your inner demons.
Yeah, she's like she said for that. All right. So as we left off, someone was kicking in the door of the inner Privy Council.
Not the inner privy, the Privy Council.
The Privy Council. I did go to the right door, didn't I? This could get really
You just do it over
next
and
door
over every
over.
door so you find the right one.
the next door over.
It's a stone slab.
No.
Full.
See the crowd. Some guy sitting there like, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, it worked.
Not a crossbow bolt to the stomach.
It reminds me of the scene from Jurassic Park with the lawyer.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Oh my goodness. No. Alcohol is not involved in the making of this show. So you were kicking in the door of the Privy Council. If
Yes.
I remember correctly, Benedict.
Benedict is full on peeved off. We will not see the crowd. He yells it as loud as he can. Is there anybody in there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of the members of the Privy Council are pretty much in the room. And you can tell that they've been having a very animated conversation. 3 or 4 of them are just sitting there with their arms crossed. And it looks like Liverich has been pacing up and down. His face is beet red. And he turns around and you can just see this vein bulging in his forehead. It's almost like pulsing back and forth, in and out. That's what it's called.
That is not human.
It looks like his eyebrows. Looks like his eyebrows are playing ping pong, like his blood vessels. And everybody just stops, and they're all just staring at you.
Does anybody react?
Guards! Liverich just bellows. We were not to be interrupted.
Oh, you're being interrupted. I say as I walk in. Because I'm done with this. As Brother Benedict is.
All right.
So, I'm still back in the room with Cheddar. They all just kind of ran out of the room.
All 3 of them, or just those 2?
No,
Yeah,
the
all
three
three
of
of
them.
us.
Grayson was right behind Benedict.
All right.
And as he said his line with emphasis, kind of just looks out at him like, I'm sort of annoyed that it works this time.
So you're back in the room with
Lord Cheddar. Did Cheddar say anything when they go storming out?
He knows the members of the Privy Council pretty well, and he just looks entirely just, oh my god, I can't believe what they're doing. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in my life.
He just looks like that, or does he say?
No, he just looks really ticked off.
We cannot let them give the crown to anyone besides the queen.
We're in agreement on this. And that has been the sticking point, is that Liverich wants to declare the queen dead and issue the crown to the next member of the royal family in line.
It requires a 2/3 vote, correct?
3/4.
3/4. How many people are on Liverich's side?
As of right now, there's 7.
That's a lot.
Yeah, he only needs 2 more.
What is Liverich's argument for this?
His argument is that we need a strong leader in place of the royal family so that we can deal with the Fae in force.
I'll give you a question. Who is next in line?
That would be Prince Willem of Orange.
And how well do I know him?
He's actually foreign.
Foreign from where?
The equivalent of the Netherlands. Out of game, real person in history, William of Orange, just like
Yeah.
Mary Queen of Scots,
Mm-hmm.
was a member of the royal family, but through
Yes.
intermarriage. So, and just like Queen Elizabeth II's husband is actually a prince of Greece,
Yeah.
even though he has basically no Greek blood in his body at all.
The fact that it's a foreigner doesn't bother me.
Right.
It's the what religion does he ascribe to?
He would not be of the Church of Angels. He would be Rheman,
Okay.
just because of geography more than anything.
Okay. Well, then that's what I say to Charles. We cannot let the Rheman Church be in charge of our country.
And why is that?
The Rhemans are the ones who brought the Fae here.
You're saying that there was an outside influence?
Yes.
From what country?
From Iberia. They were working with Lord Dincham.
So Dincham was not working alone, or only with the Fae.
No.
This casts a pretty significant light over the proceedings.
We cannot let anybody, except the Queen, have the crown.
Go ahead and roll to convince him.
It should be a fairly easy role to convince them of that part of it.
Right.
You're not commanding him.
13. Persuade is +2.
Well, he rolled an 8. You succeed in convincing him. All right, well, we need to go ahead and fix whatever mess your friends just made.
Yes.
And then I will try and make sure that the vote does not happen.
We are relying on you, as we cannot rely on Lord Liverich, because, as we said, we don't know what has happened to his mind.
Do you have any intelligence that you can, any kind of update whatsoever?
Well, my wit is a 4.
I tell him what I learned from these guys about Parliament and the ice. I also combine with what I witnessed there myself. Which, I mean, that's just recapping what I witnessed there myself.
Right.
Because we already reported that to him previously.
Right. Let's go ahead and cut back to the fabulous 3.
More like the
Grayson.
fed up 3.
Grayson is shouting, "There's fairy magic here. We need to stop and take a moment. We've been trying to get information to Liverich for days, and he's been stonewalling us."
And if he doesn't listen now, next time I am leaving him to die instead of saving your
Royal
stuck-up behind.
We're running out of time, and timing is everything in this.
There are guards coming behind you, very excited to have someone to poke, because they've been doing a lot of standing around looking confused as scary things happen. Now they have someone they can actually poke with sharp, pointy things.
Are they coming with swords drawn? Or are they just
No,
approaching?
they're just approaching.
Okay.
Very warily though, because
Okay.
they might have to poke.
Is there a candlestick?
You can spend a hero point to make.
I'll spend a hero point
Yeah.
to get a candlestick.
That's
Oh man,
They're in the middle of a castle. There's got to be.
I know.
What do they have? Torches?
Roll your search, see if there is one.
yeah, you could do that.
Okay,
too.
I'm gonna roll the search then. Spend a hero point for a candlestick.
You use hero points to make a small change to your location, such as an unlocked window, find a can of WD-40, and a roll of duct tape or something like that.
Got a 19
You
for a search.
Okay, you find a can.
Okay, since Grayson was still right by the door, he's gonna close the door, grab the candlestick, and wedge it in there to keep the guards from coming in.
Oh. Yes, we are taking control.
And as he's doing this, like, hold on. Before you send guards in here to get us, we have come to the aid of 2 of your behinds twice in the past week and a half. We were on mission from Lord Walsham. We have information, and it seems like no one here wants to hear it.
And
The queen is not dead.
She's as good as dead.
Are you threatening the queen's life, Lord Liverich?
Of course not.
Do you have intel that she is dead?
I know that wherever she is, with the Fae, they have done nothing but harm to her.
Have they told you that they've killed her?
She's as good as dead no matter where they take her.
But she's not dead, and the Fae want somebody to represent them. So, declaring her dead and putting someone else on the throne, you may be feeding him to the Fae's plan. You heard the words in Parliament.
And will never give the crown to the Baven. She we're going to give it to the rightful heir, since the queen has no issue. That would be Willem of Orange.
I wouldn't know who Willem of Orange is.
No.
Of the three of you, he's the most likely to.
Yeah, I would be the most likely to know who that was, but I don't care at the moment.
It's like, and can you personally vouch for Willem as not being affected by the Fae?
Or subverted in any way.
At this point, it shouldn't matter whether he's the next in line or not, if the queen is still alive.
I believe, and they obviously agree with me, that the best approach is to withhold giving anyone the crown for the time being. We can put people in charge that need to be in charge, but don't give the crown to anyone, because giving the crown to anyone could be the wrong someone.
And if you can't recognize that and still push for it, you may be the wrong someone. You may be being influenced by what happened in Parliament.
Of course I'm being influenced by that. I don't want it to happen.
But did you see a hasty action? You might be allowing it or making it happen.
You're going to need to convince him.
So since all three of us are here doing the same, would this be an assisted?
It could be assisted, yes.
I mean, I can't assist much.
This is definitely assisted.
And it's a charm assist, right?
Yeah.
So if you have persuasion roll,
Yeah.
I got seduce.
let's say if you have persuasion roll.
He starts taking off his gauntlets.
12.
5.
Benedict sexually removes his
18.
leg greaves.
35 total.
So he's seething, but one of the other Privy Council members, one of the ones who had been sitting with his arms crossed, looking really peeved, holds out his hands in front of him and says, "And that's what we've been trying to communicate to you this whole time."
So they're
So-
on our side too.
No, that guy was talking to Liverich
Yes.
Who was that guy? Someone we know.
No.
or to Bacon.
No. Unnamed character number 3.
Okay.
Wouldn't be far-fetched to have somebody named Angus.
Well, you have at least one council member on your side.
Well, he said we,
Yes.
so possibly more.
Because it said there were what?
We were
So he
12,
had 7.
There are 12.
and there's 12.
Because there were 7 that were with
Leverage.
Liverich.
5 against. So Leverage, he kind of deflates into a chair, and he's like, "We need to call another vote. Where's Cheddar?" The door is wedged shut. So
Yeah.
With Jorus Glave, the other member of our team that was hired by the crown for this very situation.
all right, well, let them in, and we will go ahead and cast a vote.
Can you
What
call
are you-
off the guards real quick before they try and stab us again?
If I yell through the door, "Don't stab them," it will sound like a trap.
I'm not saying say that. I'm saying stand down. Tell them to stand down, and then we'll open the door.
That sounds like a trap.
I'm not standing next to the door. You're gonna be in front of me. I'm going to the other side of the room. Is what I mean.
He goes to the he goes over to the other door.
You're holding.
No, I'm not holding him in front of me. I'm just going to the other side of the room.
I'm going to take you hostage until you tell the guards to stand down.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like.
This is not what I'm saying.
Well, that escalated quickly. All right. The candlestick is removed from the door, and it's open, and Lord Cheddar and Jorus, I would assume, are on the
Yes.
other side.
With the guards standing
Yes. Cheddar comes in, and he's like, pulls up his chair next to one of the other dissenters, and he's like, "All right, so we have 2 options. We can either vote for ceding the crown to Willem of Orange, or we can continue to hold emergency powers. Those are our 2 options."
Once again, that ceding the ground to anybody might be ceding the ground to the Bayvanji unwillingly.
Thank you, Mr. Digby. Now, first we will vote on ceding the crown. All in favor, raise your hands, and 4 raise their hand, but not Liverich.
Grayson is taking note of which 4 raised their hands.
All right. Those in favor of maintaining emergency powers, the rest of the room raises their hand. All right, that is settled. I think we should have another vote of no confidence in Lord Liveridge. This is not a matter of his integrity. It is a matter of he has had a overwhelming experience and unaccountably appeared back in Palace. He needs time to rest, time to recover. He will maintain full voting rights on the council, but he will not be the voice of the council.
Does he remember what happened in Parliament?
Not really.
Do you say that out
No,
loud?
that was.
I try to make eye contact with them and just nod. Like, this is what we want. We do not want Liveridge in charge.
To remove him from power, they would need the 9 out of 12 vote again. They get it, 10 out of 12.
Were the same ones that raised their hands for seating the crown raise their hands too? No confidence in Liveridge.
One of them did not raise their hand.
It's like playing Mafia.
Like Mafia.
Liveridge was the second who did not raise his hand.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. But the other 3 who voted, to see the crown, they did raise their hand.
Well, we accomplished something good here, I think.
With that settled, you 4, your timetable is moved up. The queen needs to be found as soon as possible.
The timetable is moved up because of what is going on around Parliament.
Yes.
And because we hadn't explained that to them yet. So Grayson is going to
Yeah,
tell them
I
about
explained it to Cheddar, but
well, yeah. To everybody in the room, Grayson's going to explain the weird temperature changes and everything going on with the buildings surrounding Parliament and how it seems to be spreading. So not only is the crown threatened, the city itself is threatened.
before we leave the room, I pulled Digby aside.
Okay.
Do you think we should ask them about the key? They don't
Not
know
in the-
about our contact with the Fae.
Not in the presence of everybody in this room. I don't trust everybody in this room.
That's fair. I pass a note to Lord Cheddar saying that we have more to discuss with him at his soonest convenience.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. For now, the meeting is adjourned. We will meet back in 5 hours to discuss further matters. Until then, I trust that you all will rest and come back here with clearer heads. You 4 with me. And he gets up and he leaves the room.
It was Cheddar now in charge of the Privy Council.
Yes.
Alright. So we head back to Cheddar's chambers.
Yes, you head back to
The Chamber of Cheddar.
the Cheddar of Chambers. The Chambers of Cheddar. And when you get there, you order a Monte Cristo.
Sorry. I guess I proceed to explain to Lord Cheddar some of the information that we have about our contact with the fairy guide.
Adrian Mark.
Yeah, Edwin Marr. And that he was a contact of Walsham. And what he has explained to us about the realm of the Fae
Mm-hmm.
and how we need to locate the key. I ask if he has any recommendations for ways that the crown can assist us in that search.
So just to make sure that I understand, there is more than one Fae nation
Yes.
operating in this city.
I would not say that there's more than one Fae nation operating in this city. There are, just as I'm sure you are aware, we have spies in several countries.
Mhm.
And I guarantee you there are many spies throughout our country that we do a better job to keep them out of the palace. That's not uncommon. So think of Indramar as a representative of a different Fae nation who is working as an operative for us, not as a separate nation operating within our country.
All right. And they want to see the end of this Banshee as much as we do.
Yes,
You could say maybe more.
you could say.
You seem pretty raring to go to take them out. So
Should we explain to them the whole history of the
The
Angelin
courts.
Church versus
Oh.
the... I don't know if we should explain all that to them.
Grayson would have no interest in sharing that because he
Yeah.
honestly hasn't held that into high importance.
Well, it is of importance because of whom the other countries worship. But, I mean, that would explain why the Banshee took the queen. more than they just want to take control of our country.
It gives the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
In that regard, yeah.
All right, so yeah, we share all that information with Cheddar as well.
About how the queen had turned away from the original promise
Yes,
and they had gone to the Rheman church to get their strength.
and why we cannot trust the Rheman Church now. The Rheman Church is essentially once giving them power to take over our country.
Yeah, which is disturbing when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is that the only one that we can trust to truly rule our country is someone who is a member of the Church of Angels.
Yes.
And that even though he is the rightful heir, the crown should not be given to Willem of Orange because he comes from a country that does not practice.
Correct.
What if he converted?
Conversion is not enough. It's whom does he pray to? Because Lord Dincham supposedly was an Angelan. We cannot give any more power to the Banshee than they already have. Consider us at war.
Grayson is going to say it's much less of
The religion.
yes. The religion doesn't matter. It could be somebody. You got to remember this agreement with the Banshee was first with the Angelan Church. The Queen found out about it and said, "Nope, I'm not doing that,"
Correct.
which has caused this problem. So even if Willem of Orange converts, he could still make an agreement with the Banshee. What church they're part of is not important.
What's important
Is who they are serving.
Yeah. All right, I think I understand. Motivations become more and more clear. First, I was thinking that this was more of an invasion than anything else, but now it seems like it's revenge to a certain extent, maybe even.
I would say it's a combination thereof.
Yeah. And to think that they've taken our holiest site, the seat of our church.
Well, that was what they were promised. That's what
The Queen's
the
father
Queen's father promised.
was the prayers of our citizens.
And the most important prayers would happen there as well. Royal ceremonies,
Yes.
weddings, funerals, coronations.
Have we explained to Cheddar about what we witnessed on Dincham, or what you all witnessed on Dincham Estate?
Which part?
The mirror.
No, we haven't talked about mirrors because we've been trying to forget mirrors.
Yeah. Not so much the mirror as what came out of the mirror and what happened at that meeting.
We've seen a lot of things come out of mirrors.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about. The monster that ate your master.
Why'd you have to go and remind him of that? Look at that face.
With that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break.
Phil, as you round the corner of the dungeon, you see a pedestal rise up from the ground. On it is a green glowing potion pulsating with its own light.
I roll to drink the potion.
You don't even need to roll. You pull out the stopper, quaff it quickly, and discover that you're listening to Alzabo Soup, a literary podcast where we become our favorite authors by devouring portions of their brains.
Oh shit, where's my save versus poison?
No.
stat?
This is a good thing. Now you're getting all the knowledge of people who love speculative fiction, talking about authors like Kelly Link, Jack Vance, Rudyard Kipling, and of course our favorite, Gene Wolfe.
Well, this character's a bust. I should just trouble up this sheet right now.
Phil, we're supposed to be promoting the show at alzabosoup.libsyn.com.
All right, I'm rolling a dwarf.
Or wherever fine podcasts are listened to.
All right, and we're back. So you all have given Lord Cheddar quite a bit of information. This has been info dump number 102. As it stands, he's pretty flabbergasted by everything that's going on. Now, do we have any kind of lead on where we can get this key?
I can tell you where it was stored previously.
Okay.
It was in Walsham's rooms. It was confiscated from there, I'm guessing the same time that he was murdered.
Is there any idea on where it is now?
Not that we know of. We've been trying to track it down.
And from what you have heard, the only weapon that will hurt these Fae is
Cold forged iron.
And it's never been touched by heat.
We need monetary backing to procure those weapons.
we can definitely send a writ from the crown. Are you talking an actual cash deposit?
Yeah.
Oh, how things have become so crass.
Unless your smiths can start forging cold
Well, it sounds like you've already had a head start on that.
Well,
weapons
yeah,
for us.
mind you, we have not said a word about the catacombs to him.
Right. I will go ahead and give you 100 gold as a retainer.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with that.
Nope.
And the finest cloak for our friend.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Besides the cold forged steel, mostly, but from what we understand, we need the help of the king of the Mist Court.
And that's more why you need the key.
Yes, because even with cold forged iron, it can only do so much against an opponent who can attack you from 100 miles away.
Can attack you through mirrors.
He looks over at his wardrobe just to make sure that the door is properly closed.
Good call.
All right, go ahead and see about those weapons that you've at least started for yourself. And if the smith has done quality work, I want you to bring them here to begin working in our forges and teaching his techniques to the royal smith.
Will do. We will do our best. Off we go.
Off you go.
To the chemical. You need to see this place.
Yes.
What magical spells do you guys have? Just out of
He
curiosity.
doesn't have any.
I don't have any.
Right, I know, but
Okay, I have Beast Tongue, ESP, Bless, Sea Magic Aura, Dispel Magic, and Shape Change.
okay.
Charm, invisibility, teleport, telekinesis, illusions, slumber, still mind.
Okay. And you two are
Not magic.
mundane,
Yes.
quote unquote, around for your looks.
Benedict sure isn't.
Hence the request for the new cloak.
All right.
I'll go ahead and give you
I'm new. I'm wearing something.
it's just that you're
It's
ugly.
unflattering.
It's not as bad as when I was a troll.
Oh gosh. Johnny in a Shadowrun campaign played a female troll prostitute
Oh, that's awesome.
that never wore clothes.
That's a lot less awesome.
Yeah. That's something.
I had a purse.
What did you care?
No. Just don't ask.
All right.
Okay. On with the show.
All right. The three of you are going to the catacombs because I have another task that I want to accomplish. And if all three of you go in, I want to give you part of my task to help me.
What is your
I'm
task?
trying to do some research on Fey magic. Namely, I want you to find a bookseller who has information on Fey magic in the catacombs.
Benedict will agree to that.
I mean, you obviously know something specific to look for. Why are
Well-
you tasking us with?
I don't know anything specific to look for. I'm looking for anything that can give us more information about what's going on around the cathedral and the parliament.
Yes, but you would be the person that would be able to tell if the information you
Yes.
got was useful or not.
That's why I said find me booksellers.
And
Right.
while we are doing this, what will you be doing?
I'll be going to the kingdom's records of magic books to research there.
I think we should pick up Edrimar before going into the catacombs.
He could probably help you on that.
Yeah, Benedict agrees to look for the booksellers.
We're gonna need that purse.
All right.
That
yeah,
wasn't
so
for me personally, so.
three of us go to the catacombs.
Okay. And you want to go ahead and stop by the Windsinger?
Yeah, can you help us find books on magic concerning the Fae?
Mm-hmm.
To the catacombs.
The catacombs. While you're going to the catacombs, let's go ahead and cut over to you.
All right. So, yeah, like I said, I just want to go check the whatever records I can find, historical magic books, any of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just looking for anything that references what's going on. And I rolled really bad. 4.
They just finished putting out the Rheman fires at the university. You rolled so horribly. What do you
I
expect?
know. Well, I didn't expect them to be on fire.
The library is completely lost.
Well then, to the catacombs.
Should have gone to the catacombs.
He would have found something if his roll hadn't included a 1 that knocked it down to what, a 4?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you don't even know where the catacombs
No, you don't.
are.
Well, he told me roughly. I mean, I don't know.
So you're just gonna go around to every mausoleum just looking for random hidden stairways?
No. I go back to the playhouse and...
Did you see Pee Wee Herman?
Is Cherry there?
You get there not too terribly long after they've left.
Yeah.
And you can tell from like the game of pointing and gesticulating that your friends are not too far ahead of you.
I obviously they can't communicate with me, but they can understand me.
Right.
So, is there anybody who can guide me to the catacombs? Just Edwin Marr.
Yeah.
Very well. Which direction?
They point. Like 5 of them all point in the same direction.
All right.
5 of them point in 5 different directions.
As soon as I'm outside, I give a whistle
Okay.
for my bird to come. I just ask her. I ask them to just spot them
Okay.
and report where they're at.
All right. Easy enough.
Yeah.
So you catch up with them.
Yep. Well, the library's lost.
Well, that sucks. To the catacombs.
Down the stairs, through the tunnels, past the murals.
Benedict actually is going to stop at the murals
Okay.
and start examining and kind of just... So how old do they appear to be?
Well, which depends which level you stop at.
I mean, the first mural is.
First mural seems to be a few hundred years old.
And what is this mural of?
All of the murals pretty much depict the history of the founding of Dinium, the history of the town, like how first Rheman's had set up like a trading post with local people, and included in those local people were actual Fae. And you see that it was like an important local commerce, and then it grew and it grew and it grew. And that it's telling the story in reverse. So
Like I'm seeing the backwards as we're continuing.
yes, the backwards history of Dinium.
Does it depict the part where the Angelin Church and the Rheman Church split due to the...
That's recent.
Okay.
That's
so it's
like
not
within
that.
that's within the
Past 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Past 3 decades.
Okay. Benedict is definitely interested in some of this stuff because it's history.
Uh-huh.
And so he's going to make some rubbings of it using his notebook. And
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, that's something that I would find interesting as well, but I wouldn't take the time right then to study it.
Sure. So you all are going deeper into the catacombs, and you see all the bones and the skulls and the skeletons and
The dead things.
dead things that used to be alive, etc., and so forth. And you finally make it to the Undermarket, and like for those of you who it's your first time there, what's your initial reaction?
Grayson is honestly just going to look around, see if he sees anybody there that he recognizes.
Okay, go ahead and roll search for him.
So we can punch him in the face and say,
Yep.
why didn't you tell me?
Pretty much. Oof.
You recognize everybody.
12.
You don't see anybody that looks immediately familiar.
Okay.
But you're sure that some of your contacts would pass through here if you stayed long enough.
So he's going to always just keep a
Okay.
lookout for anybody that he knows.
Sounds good.
So, I mean, obviously we're in caves. There's lit by torches and candles and stuff, but how brightly lit? Is there lots of dark shadow areas, or is it like this wall lined with torches?
Like where the most foot traffic is, it's well lit up, but there are areas and nooks and crannies and coves that look like they're pretty well washed in darkness.
I'm going to ask Edramar where the best place for magical history of the Fae, booksellers, and such.
That would be by the Wall of the Fae Bones.
And that direction?
And follow-up question, magical items?
Hmm?
Is there a place for magical items?
He just holds his hands out expansively.
Everything here is magical?
If you ask the person's right.
And Grayson's going to look around and he's like, oh, I'm going to love this place.
As
The magic.
as Demetrius is walking over to the smith, he's like, I told you. Going over to the smith, seeing
Okay.
how things are progressing.
Grayson's going to follow.
So Benedict.
I wasn't sure how long it had taken me for the rubbings.
Not that long. You have a nice soft charcoal, so that goes pretty quickly. As you like come through the entryway, you're seeing Demetrius head over towards the blacksmiths.
Do I see Jorus walking on? Is that a roll?
No, we'll say that he can.
Okay. Benedict's actually going to go after Jorus.
Okay. All right. So you're approaching the blacksmith. And he sees you as you're coming up.
Hello.
Well, if it isn't our cold forged friend.
Yeah, I came to check up on that and to give you the rest of the payment once I see how close you are to having those finished.
All right. Well, I have 5 crossbow arrowheads.
Okay.
I have the hat for the staff. So he hands you like the parts for the staff, the crossbow bolts, also a dagger. He's
Okay.
like, this has been incredibly hard work. I had to keep an apprentice working pretty much all night long.
Well,
So,
this looks like pretty good work.
Excellent work. Excellent work.
now you said you had remuneration.
Yes. I reach in without showing anything and pull out a small.
I forget what it was.
Yeah, I forget what I
5
paid for
gold?
him.
6 gold, 6 silver.
It's gold,
6.5.
All right. Well, we'll put that into your accounts.
Also, a proposition for you.
If these weapons work well,
Mhm.
we may have a wealthy associate of ours that may be coming to you for quite a bit more.
Keep talking.
He's gonna charm him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like,
What's
this
the
is your
resist-
territory.
What's the resist for charm?
I have a target number 15. I don't know if there
Right.
is a resist.
Spell grants 40 bonus to all charm skills.
Yeah. So there's no actual.
So all I gotta do is hit a 15. And I definitely did. 19.
Okay.
Without going into too much detail, explains that there may be a wealthy commission with someone that is outfitting an army to fight a Fey insurgents. Let's put it that way.
And they want me to harm them. That's a lot of work right there. So we're saying
Wealthy.
mountains of gold.
Steady gold.
And, sir, if you wish it to remain unbeknownst as to where your base of operations is, don't worry. Your secret is safe with me. Ching ching. So should I roll my charm now?
Yeah.
My persuasion now?
Yeah, that's a
Alright, so this
Yeah.
is a lot of
Yeah, I think.
9 die. Ooh. 31.
So is it 30 or is it 1?
31. 31.
And that's a heroic roll.
He is thoroughly taken in by this promise of piles of lucre. He taps his nose. He's like, I think I like your friends, sir. And as he looks at Demetrius,
I thought you might.
I'll go ahead and finish up your order, and then you can make a judgment and pass on a favorable word.
One other question.
Yes.
Grayson asked him about anybody who has come through looking for or selling a round magical item.
He hasn't heard anything.
If you could just point me in the direction of the most likely shop that would have heard something.
I think I know the one that you're talking about. That one right over there.
Okay.
I give him a couple more gold just to
Just
sweeten the pot and to expedite it if at all possible.
Okay.
He has most of it.
So we have stuff for the two of us, not the two of you, right?
One dagger.
One dagger.
No sword yet. That's the lonely one.
That's,
Yeah, that's-
which
that's
is
one.
understandable. Swords aren't exactly easy to make normally.
Right. Right. We'll go ahead and cut over to right. So Jorus, Benedict, and we'll say Adrian was going with you as well, if I remember correctly.
Sure. Alright, get to the bookseller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for any information on first, the histories of Fae in this region, and second, anything regarding the performing of magic.
What kind of magic? There are so many different kinds. There's cartomancy, there's heliology, there's your run-of-the-mill sorcery.
What would the type of magic be for the area of effects that are going on off the surface?
Glamours?
The snow over the
Oh, if that's caused by
Fae.
those types, then I guess you're looking for information about friendly magic.
Yes.
Alright, well, we do have a few poems on that matter as well.
May I see them, please? And
Alright, he goes back, rummaging around in the back of his... What are you doing?
I'm just picking up random books and flipping through them. Can't say I'm looking for anything in particular, but
Keep in mind, this is a dark underground place that sells illegal things.
I mean, are there books sitting on shelves like a typical bookseller would have?
They're mostly on carts.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
think piles of books.
Yeah. On carts, on tables. And most of them are like, they're not tables like what we're sitting at. They're more like boards thrown over sawhorses. And
Yeah.
stuff. You see Adrian standing towards the back of the enclosure up against the wall. When they described it as a wall of bones, that's exactly what it looks like. And you can see that he's resting his hand on some of the bones and just touching them in different ways, and it looks like very reverential.
Benedict will approach Adrian and stand next to him. Are these your ancestors?
The mothers of my mother.
I'm sorry that you lost them.
I do not understand why. They must go before so that I can be now.
Okay. I mean to say that I'm sorry that you cannot be with them.
But I can still feel them.
You can feel them, do you mean physically or in your mind?
Part of them is here.
Is that the part that you're touching?
Part of their mind as well.
At times, I wish we could experience that.
You cannot see the magic in the world around.
Not exactly. Other than, the things out there, and that's not good magic.
No good, no bad. Depends on what's here. And he points to Benedict's chest.
And Benedict would say, I am starting to see that. However, the magic that I see is mostly bad.
None of your friends see magic?
I have seen one friend transform into a mouse.
Which one?
The frustrating one.
How can all of you turn into one mouse? And with that, we'll go ahead and break for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. Our cast is Aaron, Jeff, Jeremy, Johnny, and Jordan. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means that you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is @bonethrowerstheater, and also you can look us up on Facebook and Google+. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.